If he's not jabbing, he has no defense. If he's not going to jab, the guy's going to walk right into him like he did. Next fight, use your jab, different fight. For the fight, uppercut. For he can anticipate the combination. If he was flipping the jab, the guy wouldn't do the combination. When he was jabbing, Canelo should have been moving, flipping the jab.
Mike Tyson surprised the boxing world by giving Canelo Alvarez an unexpected strategy to deal with Terence Crawford in their highly awaited fight. On the other hand, Crawford showed his excitement about facing another elite champion like Canelo and said their September 13th showdown will be a night fans never forget. Speaking with real passion, he was confident that their fight will bring the kind of top-level action that keeps boxing alive for its fans.
Definitely honored to be in that situation and a position to share the ring with another great. You know, it's going to be a hell of a night come September 13th.
Crawford admitted that both he and Canelo faced criticism after their last performances, noting that fans are looking for them to bounce back. He promised to come in with a much more aggressive approach this time and told viewers to expect non-stop action right from the first bell. For Crawford, this fight is not only about getting the win, but also about showing the world that he is still one of the most dangerous fighters in boxing.
His performance against William Skull, did you take more confidence from that fight?
A lot of people criticized my last performance, so, you know what I mean? We both need to step it up, I guess.
That's one from me, Terence. Obviously, we've seen Turkey Al-Sheikh mention no Tom and Jerry fights. You've said yourself you're going to put it on him, you're going to come for him. Do we see an explosive Terence Crawford that people won't have been expecting to see?
That's why you got to watch the fight so you can see.
I'll get a message to Canelo.
See you soon.
Mike Tyson gave a warning by saying Crawford should think twice about taking this fight because of the big size gap between him and Canelo. He pointed out how Crawford struggled at times against the taller and tricky Israel Madrimov, suggesting that facing a stronger and highly skilled opponent like Canelo could create serious challenges.
Terence Crawford calling out Canelo.
You know, I don't like that fight.
Why not?
I don't like that fight. It's just too much weight, you know, and he had a close fight with the last guy he fought, Terence, but this guy was big and he was awkward. He was really awkward. He shouldn't have fought that guy. He should have fought a guy that was just come straight at him. The guy was too awkward.
He's herky-jerky. Yeah.
In another comment, Tyson advised Canelo to rely strongly on his jab as a main weapon against Terence Crawford. He explained that a quick and steady jab could throw Crawford off rhythm, slow down his attacks, and set up chances for bigger shots later in the fight. Tyson emphasized that this simple but often overlooked move could be the key to breaking Crawford's strategy.
Jabbing, he has no defense. If he's not going to jab, the guy's going to walk right into him like he did. Next fight, use your jab, different fight. When he was jabbing, Canelo should be moving, flipping the jab for the fight uppercut. But he can anticipate the combination. If he was flipping the jab, the guy wouldn't do the combination.
Former contender Gabe Rosado leaned toward favoring Canelo, basing his view on styles and matchups. He pointed out that William Skull's movement and unusual rhythm caused Canelo to fight more patiently, saving his energy for the right moments instead of pushing non-stop. Rosado also highlighted how Madrimov's size created problems for Crawford at 154 pounds, stressing that taking on Canelo at the full 168 pounds is a much bigger and far more dangerous test.
Crawford problems. I favor Canelo, not by a lot, but I do favor him. I just think that, you know, I think the Skull fight was just a bad style. And I think Canelo was like, why force the issue? You know what I mean? I'm up. This guy's running. I'm not gonna take a chance. So I think that it was that kind of fight for Canelo. But Madrimov did give Crawford problems. You know what I'm saying? And where I felt like, damn, at 54, he gave you problems. 68 is different.
Terence Crawford, meanwhile, looks fully focused and mentally ready, using training camp to sharpen his skills, push his intensity, and stick to a strict game plan. Every sparring session and conditioning workout is being carefully designed to prepare him for Canelo's mix of power and technique. His camp has been described as completely locked in, with no distractions allowed as he gets ready for the biggest fight of his career.
You have to be relentless. You have to never let off the gas, never stop, never quit. Never allow anyone to talk you out of the dream, the vision, and ideas. And understand that for every level, there's another devil. It is the devil's job to create challenges, issues, and conflicts, insecurities, fear, because he wants to put you to a test. But I can tell you now, I piss the devil off every day because I just don't stop. And the devil is so mad at this guy. Doesn't matter if he gets sick. It doesn't matter what happens to his money or his finances. Every time he gets out of his bed and he's on a mission to get it done. And as you begin to look at your...
Trainer Jose Benavidez Sr. gave a straightforward take, saying Crawford is no longer the fighter he used to be, noting a drop in his reflexes, power, and footwork. He predicted that Canelo will likely aim for a knockout, leaving Crawford dependent on fast combinations and constant movement to stay in the fight. According to him, this setup makes for a tense and risky matchup where even one mistake from Crawford could decide everything.
Crawford has not been looking really good. We saw how he looked in his past fight. So Canelo, you know, like I said, you know, the reflexes are not there, you know, this power is not there, the knees are not the same. So Canelo's gonna try to knock him out, but Crawford's gonna do what he does best. He's gonna move around, try to win the rounds, touch him, and move, you know. I think if Crawford stays, Canelo can knock him out, you know, because Canelo's a bigger guy. I don't think Crawford's gonna come and give the fans what they want, you know. He don't care, you know, he's just gonna come and win and beat him. I don't know if they're going to give it to him, but it's just going to be a Tom and Jerry.
British fighter Jack Catterall praised both men as top-level athletes but leaned toward Crawford taking the win. He stressed that a Crawford victory should not be seen as an upset since his skill and ability to adjust make him capable of beating nearly anyone in the sport.
Two tremendous fighters in their own right. I won't call it an upset, but I'm going for a Crawford victory.
Virgil Ortiz said he doesn't believe Terence Crawford can beat Canelo Alvarez because of the big size and weight difference, pointing out that Crawford is moving up 3 divisions to face one of the best in boxing. While he praised Crawford's smarts and skill, Ortiz felt Canelo's power, size, and sharpness give him the clear advantage. He mentioned Canelo's check hook against Baranga as proof that his timing is still elite. Ortiz admitted Crawford does have a shot, but if he pulls it off, Ortiz would rank him as his #1 fighter of all time.
But if he beats Canelo, he'll be like my #1 fighter of all time.
You don't think Crawford beats Canelo?
I don't think so. Look, hear me out. I respect Crawford and everything that he's doing, but he just moved up from 147, so I'm just going to treat him as a 147 pounder. He's jumping up 3 weight classes to fight someone who was like the #1 fighter in all of boxing, you know. The jump would be hard, even if it was just like some top 10,
right, yeah.
You know.
But would you say he's a very smart fighter?
Yes.
Very calculated,
yes.
Right? Don't you think that maybe he sees something that most people aren't seeing?
I think he does, but the thing is he gonna be able to even like to capitalize on it? Because he's a smaller fighter, and look, I think people are thinking at the aspect of can Crawford do it? Yes, I think he can.
Veteran trainer Robert Garcia warned about the risks of adding too much muscle before this fight. He explained that extra weight could slow down Crawford's movement, reduce the snap in his punches, and take away the qualities that make him stand out. Garcia compared it to Floyd Mayweather's strategy, noting that Floyd beat bigger opponents by using skill, timing, and ring IQ instead of trying to match them in size.
Crawford, I think, gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them. If they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go rounds, then they're trying to maybe go the distance and they'll be happy with that. But I think Crawford's natural talent, Mayweather had it. You know, you guys were just mentioning right now that Crawford, Mayweather never needed to gain weight and never needed to be heavy to be able to beat those bigger guys. I think Crawford's skills, we give Crawford a chance because we know how good he is, how, you know, his skills, his speed, his combinations. But if he's gaining so much weight, he might not be able to do those. He might not be able to have those same skills when it comes to his speed, his footwork, because of the weight.
Abel Sanchez praised both Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez for their intelligence and skill, but leaned toward Canelo because of his size and defensive ability. He noted that Canelo has taken big shots from hard punchers like Gennady Golovkin, Dmitry Bivol, and Sergey Kovalev without wearing down, proving he can handle power well. Sanchez added that Crawford gets hit more often, even at 154 pounds, and said that no matter how sharp he looks or how much weight he puts on, going up against Canelo's strength and size is a whole different challenge.
Crawford is a great fighter, but so is Canelo. I think that, in my opinion, their IQ is similar, except Canelo doesn't get hit like Crawford gets hit. In my opinion, Canelo's a bigger man. Not that he started out as a bigger man, but he's now a bigger man. He has been hit by not only Gennady, who's one of the biggest punchers that I've ever coached and I've ever seen, but he's also been hit by Bivol, by Kovalev, who's a big puncher. You know, he's been hit by big guys. Crawford had a hard time with a 154-pounder who hit him often. So I think that no matter how much weight he puts on, no matter how smart he thinks he is or how big he thinks he is, he's going to be getting hit by a truck.
Former multi-division world champion Shane Mosley confidently picked Canelo to win the upcoming fight. He admitted that Crawford is a highly skilled boxer who can beat anyone, but said he expects Canelo to come out on top. Mosley praised Canelo's abilities and added that he would be glad to see him win on September 13th. He believes Canelo won't struggle with the challenge as long as he sticks to his usual game plan, noting that his strength and experience at 168 pounds give him a clear advantage.
A great fight. I think both guys are great fighters, but I think Canelo's just too big, and you know, they mistake him as being just a guy at 168, not a regular guy, and Crawford being the more talented. But that's not the case. They're both talented. Yeah. But the only thing is, Canelo has them by 2-weight division. So I think that Canelo beats him pretty easily. But we'll see. If Crawford does good, I mean, kudos to Crawford. You know, I'm happy for him. If he can pull off, great. But my mentor, my mind's telling me that Canelo's gonna
Sergio Mora said that as the fight approaches, he now views Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford as a true 50-50 matchup. He described Crawford as a dangerous, intimidating fighter who has built himself into a strong middleweight-like frame. While Mora originally picked Canelo to win, he now believes Crawford has a real chance to outbox him, land clean shots, and make Canelo show signs of age. Mora added that this could end up being the best performance of Crawford's career, turning the fight into a historic moment.
And I just think, ultimately, Crawford just is a mean mofo. This dude, mean. I mean, I met Bud a couple of times. You know, he pulls me aside and he gives me that look. He's a mean, intimidating dude, man. Yeah. And then I've been seeing how he's been growing into the frame. He's gotten big. He's gotten muscular, and he's looking more like a middleweight, super middleweight. The closer the fight gets, the more I'm looking at Crawford like, this dude might do something, man. Because all along, I haven't changed my tune. I say Canelo's going to win this fight, but he's not going to come out of it unscathed. I can see him being bruised up, battered, maybe a little bit of blood, but his size is going to come in the end. Now I'm starting to change my tune. I can maybe see the day that we've seen Canelo finally get old. No excuses, just Crawford pot-shotting him, having the night of his life, and we just watch something great. I can visualize it, man. So the closer this fight gets, the more that I'm looking at it like a 50-50.
Abdullah Mason said he believes Crawford has a strong chance of winning. He thinks Crawford might surprise people with his power, but in the end, the result will come down to who executes better on fight night and who enters the ring more prepared.
I got faith that Crawford could take it. I feel like Crawford, he might surprise some people with his strength. So it all depends on who's the better fighter that night and who prepared, better.
Roy Jones Jr. said he isn't concerned about the weight difference between Canelo and Terence Crawford because real skill carries across weight classes. He explained that Crawford is so technically sharp that size matters less. For Roy, the key question is whether Crawford can take punches at the higher weight, and he believes he can since he's trained with bigger fighters like super middleweights and light heavyweights. He added that when a fighter is truly skilled, those abilities rise with them as they move up. To him, it's not about size but about the level of talent and technique brought into the ring.
When you're as skillful as Terence Crawford is, weight don't really matter much. The only thing that matters with the weight is can you take the punch. And I'm sure you've been sparring with super middles and light heavies, so I'm sure you probably can take the punch. So that's the only thing when you got skill. Now if you don't have a skill, you can't take the weight, take it up. Because you're gonna lose your punch, you're gonna lose everything. But when you got skill, all your stuff that you have goes up with you. You talk to the GOAT. I went out with a heavyweight.
No, it's a lot of the people, which is why I brought up, would use the weight as an advantage for Canelo. But I agree, and you're right. Canelo fights obviously taller fighters all the time and wins. It's about skill as opposed to, a lot of the time anyway, as opposed to weight.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm not really worried about the weight. I'm worried about this.
Brian Norman Sr. firmly picked Terence Crawford to beat Canelo Alvarez, admitting he once lost money betting against Crawford and has since learned not to doubt him. He now sees Crawford as an elite, intelligent fighter and a serious threat in the ring. After watching him closely, Norman described Crawford as a dangerous opponent with the kind of boxing IQ that always finds a way to win. He dismissed the idea that beating Canelo is unrealistic, insisting it's completely possible given Crawford's skill set.
I got Crawford, I'm sorry. I was about to say Canelo, where'd that come from? I got Crawford, man. I learned to not bet against Crawford. I won't bet against Crawford again. I lost a lot of money betting against Crawford. So you know, those days of my life are over with. I've drunk the Kool-Aid.
You're a believer now.
I'm a believer now. Yeah. Crawford is that guy, man. Crawford is that guy. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, and you know, I've seen Crawford personally. I've seen him in the ring personally, and I mean, he a bad man. So I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to say, just like with my son, I'm gonna have to say, just with the boxing IQ, with it's certain things, man. In certain things, I think that Crawford is gonna figure out a way to win. I don't think this is so. I don't think for how some people are looking at this, I don't think it's so far-fetched that Crawford can beat him. I just don't see that so far-fetched as some people are trying to make.
Ryan Garcia said that while anything can happen when two elite fighters meet, he doesn't see Terence Crawford beating Canelo Alvarez. He admitted Crawford could prove him wrong, but believes the size difference will play a huge role. Garcia, who has trained with Canelo, mentioned that Canelo is strong enough to push back heavyweights and noted this is the first time in a while he will be the naturally bigger man. He feels that advantage will let Canelo fight with more freedom and effectiveness. Though he respects Crawford's talent, Garcia said his bet would be on Canelo.
Fighters, great things can happen. But I could see even Crawford getting knocked out like Amir Khan style though.
Do you give Terence Crawford any chance to beat Canelo?
I don't see it happening, but he could definitely prove me wrong. But I just think, bro, like, I mean, I've trained with Canelo, I've been around him. Bro can really push back heavyweight. So I don't know how he's, like, because this is the first time Canelo's actually bigger than somebody in a long time. So it's like the weights are lifted off, and now he could fight even more freely, you know? So I'm actually interested to see, bro. I can't wait for the fight. I'm definitely going to be backing Canelo, but, you know, Crawford is a great fighter, and he could surprise me. But right now, where I would put my money is
Lonnie B remains confident that Canelo will win and said nothing has changed his opinion. He expects the early rounds to be close, but believes Canelo will take over as the fight goes on. While giving Crawford credit as a skilled boxer, he pointed out that Israel Madrimov gave him trouble. Lonnie thinks moving from 160 to 168 pounds will be tough for Crawford, especially with Canelo likely weighing around 200 pounds on fight night. He also noted that Canelo has never been stopped and doubts Crawford will be able to keep him under control.
I think you favored Canelo to win the fight?
Yeah.
Has anything changed from then? Is it now closer?
No.
Did not change?
Nope.
Nothing.
I think it's going to be a good fight for the first 4 rounds. I think Canelo's size is just going to, take over. Like I said, I could be wrong. Crawford's phenomenal. But from what I've seen with the kid Maxinoff and the way he gave him trouble moving up 2 more weight classes, 60 to 68, and Canelo going to come in about 200 pounds. I just think I also think Canelo's never been stopped, and I don't think he's going to be able to keep Canelo off of him.
That wraps up today's video. What do you think about the upcoming Canelo versus Crawford showdown? We'd love to hear your opinions, so drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to check out our other videos on the screen.